Everyone says the Lexus RX is bulletproof. Over the last 2 decades, the Lexus RX has earned top marks for dependability. But when you analyze ownership data, repair trends, and long-term durability by generation, a clear hierarchy appears. Not every Lexus RX is created equal. Some generations will run forever with basic maintenance. Others look just as good, but quietly rack up expensive problems as the miles climb. In this breakdown, we rank all Lexus RX generations, highlight the most reliable model years, and reveal the best Lexus RX to buy on the used market right now. Ranking 5th, the worst, the first generation, 1999 to 2003. In the context of Lexus, the term worst is relative. The first generation RX 300 remains more reliable than many of its contemporaries. However, from a professional longevity perspective, it occupies the bottom of the list due to age-related degradation and specific powertrain vulnerabilities that were not fully addressed during its production run. The RX 300 was powered by the 3-liter M1Z FE V6, an engine celebrated for its smoothness but plagued by 2 significant engineering hurdles: oil sludge and transmission thermal stress. The oil sludge issue, often referred to as engine gel, was a result of narrow oil passages and high operating temperatures in the 1Z FE. If owners did not adhere strictly to 5,000-mile oil change intervals, the oil would break down into a thick, tar-like substance, clogging the lubrication system and leading to catastrophic engine failure. This problem was particularly prevalent in early models before crankcase ventilation was improved. Furthermore, the 4-speed automatic transmission in the all-wheel drive models was essentially a reinforced version of a unit designed for lighter sedans. When tasked with moving the 3,900-pound RX 300 and its permanent all-wheel drive system, the transmission was prone to premature wear and total failure, often occurring around the 100,000 to 125,000 mile mark. Beyond the powertrain, the first generation suffers from antiquated electronics. The center-mounted LCD screen, which controls both audio and climate functions, is prone to failing pixels and backlight burnout. Because this unit is integrated, a failure can leave the driver without a way to adjust the air conditioning or radio, often requiring an expensive replacement of the entire head unit. While the RX 300 established the segment, the high probability of transmission replacement and the risk of engine sludge make it a high-risk used purchase in the modern era.
Ranking 4th, the 5th generation, 2023 to present. Placing the current 5th generation RX in the 4th position may seem counterintuitive for a modern vehicle, but it reflects a significant departure from the proven engineering of previous years. This generation marked the retirement of the naturally aspirated V6 engine in favor of the T24 AFTS 2.4-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. While this powertrain offers improved efficiency and low-end torque, it introduces a level of complexity, including turbocharging and direct/port injection systems, that has yet to be vetted over the long term. The most concerning reliability reports for this generation center on the RX 500h F-Sport performance. Unlike previous Lexus hybrids that utilized a planetary eCVT, the 500h uses a new 6-speed automatic transmission with an integrated electric motor and a separate rear axle motor, Direct 4. This powertrain has been subject to multiple technical service bulletins, most notably LSB 0034-24, which addresses a diagnostic trouble code P279762, indicating an electromagnetic oil pump internal failure. Owners have reported instances of the transmission slipping into neutral while driving, or suffering a complete loss of power at low mileages, sometimes necessitating a full transmission replacement under warranty. Interior quality has also seen a shift. Professional reviews and owner forums have noted a move toward more mass-produced feeling materials compared to the artisanal craftsmanship of the third and fourth generations. Reported issues include misaligned exterior panels, rattles in the air vents, and significant glitches with the new Lexus interface infotainment system, specifically regarding wireless Apple CarPlay connectivity and screen freezing. The fifth generation's fourth-place ranking is a cautionary placement. While it features the latest safety technology, Lexus Safety System 3.0, the fundamental mechanical shift away from the V6 and the specific transmission failures in the 500h suggests that it is currently in its beta phase of reliability.
Ranking third, the second generation, 2004 to 2009. The second generation RX, RX 330, and later RX 350 represents a bridge between the analog simplicity of the original model and the sophisticated tech of the later versions. This generation saw a significant jump in overall build quality and safety. However, as these vehicles cross the 15-year mark, a set of very specific Lexus-typical problems has emerged that prevents it from taking a higher spot on the list. A major concern for the second generation is dashboard cracking. Due to a manufacturing defect in the plastic polymers used in the dash assembly, heat and UV exposure cause the surface to become sticky and eventually develop large, unsightly cracks. While Lexus initiated a ZLZ warranty enhancement program to replace these dashes for free, that program has long since expired, and a new dash can cost over $2,000. Another cosmetic issue involves the exterior rubber trim on the rear hatch button, which frequently melts into a black tar-like substance, often called black goo, that stains the user's hands upon opening the trunk. Mechanically, the transition from the 3.3-liter 3MZ FE, which utilized a timing belt, to the 3.5-liter 2GR FE in 2007 was a turning point. The 2GR FE used a timing chain, reducing long-term maintenance costs, but early versions of this engine were plagued by oil leaks. Specifically, the timing cover gasket and the VVTI oil lines were known to leak or, in extreme cases, rupture. The timing cover leak is particularly frustrating because the engine must be removed from the vehicle to properly reseal the cover, a job that frequently costs $4,000 to $5,000 at a dealership. Despite these issues, the second generation is fundamentally robust. The RX 400h Hybrid, in particular, proved to be incredibly durable, with many original battery packs lasting over 200,000 miles. For those looking for a budget-friendly used Lexus, the 2008 and 2009 models are the most reliable Lexus RX years of this generation, as many of the early 3.5-liter oil leak issues were rectified by the factory. Ranking second, the fourth generation, 2016 to 2022. The fourth generation Lexus RX is arguably the best Lexus RX to buy for the average consumer because it successfully combines the peak evolution of the 3.5-liter V6 with modern safety and convenience technology. It consistently earns top marks in reliability surveys, including a 97.9% rating from What Cars 2025 survey. However, it takes the second-place spot because of minor but widespread issues regarding its transmission logic and electrical health. The most frequent complaint among fourth-gen owners is transmission hesitation. The 8-speed automatic transmission introduced in 2016 was tuned heavily for fuel economy, often resulting in a dead zone or a jerky feeling when accelerating from a low speed or coming to a stop. While Technical Service Bulletin L-SB-032-19 provided a software update for the Engine Control Module, ECM, to smooth out these shifts, some owners still find the 8-speed to be less intuitive than the older 6-speed units. Another common issue, particularly in the RX 450h hybrid, is 12-volt battery drain. Owners who do not drive their vehicles at least once a week for at least 20 minutes often find the vehicle dead, as the complex electronics and telematics systems can parasitically drain the small auxiliary battery. Additionally, the 2017 model year was specifically noted for faulty rain sensors on the windshield, which would often fail to activate the wipers at night regardless of sensitivity settings. For those shopping used, the 2018 to 2021 model years are widely considered the most reliable Lexus RX years of this generation. These years benefited from hardware updates that addressed early fuel pump recalls and oil consumption issues seen in the 2016 to 2017 models.
Ranking first, the best, the third generation Lexus RX, 2010 to 2015. The third generation Lexus RX is the undisputed champion of reliability in the crossover segment. This generation represents the Goldilocks period of Lexus engineering. The 3.5-liter G2R FE V6 had been perfected. The 6-speed automatic transmission was virtually bulletproof, and the vehicle lacked the overly complex infotainment systems that would frustrate owners in later years. While the 2010 model was the worst year of this specific generation due to a major recall for unintended acceleration related to floor mats trapping the pedal and early oil cooler line failures, the subsequent years, 2011 to 2015, are remarkably trouble-free. J.D. Power awarded the 2010 RX a quality and reliability score of 93 out of 100, one of the highest scores ever given to an SUV. The only major mechanical concern for this generation is the failure of the water pump, which typically begins to seep coolant around the 100,000-mile mark. Because the water pump is driven by the serpentine belt rather than the timing chain, a failure is not catastrophic, but the tight engine bay makes the replacement labor-intensive. Additionally, owners should be aware of clogged sunroof drains. If the drains become blocked by debris, water can leak into the cabin and soak the carpets, potentially damaging electrical modules under the seats. For anyone asking what is the best Lexus RX to buy, the answer is almost invariably the 2012 to 2015 RX 350. These vehicles are known to reach 250,000 to 300,000 miles with nothing more than routine fluid changes. They offer a level of serenity and mechanical honesty that is increasingly rare in the modern luxury market. In the definitive ranking of the Lexus RX generations from worst to best, the hierarchy is dictated by a move from experimental innovation to refined perfection, followed by a transition into modern complexity. For the professional automotive script or report, the takeaway is clear. If the goal is to drive a vehicle for 300,000 miles with the absolute minimum of unscheduled repairs, the 2015 Lexus RX 350 is the gold standard of the industry. It is the best Lexus RX to buy, representing the pinnacle of the brand's commitment to durability, serenity, and value.